In Lincoln and Logan County, you're in the cheap seats. Josh Komnick, the furniture guy, Jake Johnston.
What a beautiful day.
We are getting
It's tropical.
moisture for the first time in 2 months maybe. It decides to rain, and of course we are right outside here at Jake's Furnishings on Woodlawn Road. It would be your place where it would finally rain a little bit. It's just sprinkling now, but
It's leading up.
enough to get the equipment covered up and for you
Jim.
to get a shower.
You got Jim and Jeff over there using a tarp. Not really sure what for.
To keep the equipment clean, but
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Meet the Railers was last night,
Yes.
and we want to invite anybody to call in, give us their update on their take on Meet the Railers. You know, we've got next week coming up the first football game. That's going to be out at Hanlon Field, out at Lincoln Community High School. Of course, the defending state champs come to town.
Oh, that'll be a big victory for Lincoln.
Yeah, I'm predicting it too. Also, so a big game next week. So get yourself ready. It's a beautiful time of year. You've got playoff baseball coming, and it's one of the best days of my 31-year life to be a Cub. Yesterday,
I could see that.
a couple things happened. Jim Hendry, of course, fired. We have been asking for several years now.
Several years, yeah.
And the Cubs beat the Cardinals. It's almost good enough for me to wear Cubs apparel, but I just couldn't do it. So we'll talk a little more about Jim Hendry taking the boot, and of course that Cubs extra inning win that happened last
Keep
night.
talking.
Notice Jake's not wearing any Cardinal gear today.
No, I skipped it.
We want to
Skip
give
the red.
some props out to the Railer golf team, and we're going to try and have those guys in. I know they're on their way to Quincy for a tournament, but the Railer golf team is a very young team this year. The team right now consisting of 2 juniors, 1 sophomore, and 2 freshmen. In their first tournament at the Elks, they tied Chatham Glenwood for first place. So those guys sounds like they've got some young talent. Not only young players, but also very talented, and it seems like they're going to have a bright future, if not this year, but years to come. So we're going to try and get Coach Ciascio in and the Railers in for the golf team, and we wish them luck over in Quincy today. Jake, let's run through the baseball scoring. I know you've got the scores and what's going on in Major League Baseball from last night. Give us a few scores from last night.
Well, we'll skip the first one. We'll just say Chicago Cubs won.
Yeah.
Cincinnati 11, Pittsburgh 8. Detroit 4, Cleveland 1, Washington Nationals 8, Philadelphia Phillies 4. The New York Mets were beat down by the Milwaukee Brewers 6-1.
Milwaukee's on fire.
They are absolutely rolling. Tampa Bay defeats Seattle 3-2. Atlanta 4, Arizona 2, Houston 6, San Francisco nothing. San Francisco seems to be failing like my beloved birds. Boston 7, Kansas City 1, New York Yankees 8, Minnesota 1, Texas over the White Sox 7-4, the Dodgers over Colorado 8-2, LA Angels of Anaheim over Baltimore 8-3, Florida losing San Diego 3-4, and Toronto takes a loss against Oakland 2-0.
Well, let's look at those standings real quick. As you mentioned, a couple teams failing. Your Redbirds, my Cubs, actually, and it sounds horrible I'm saying this, but they're actually playing average baseball now, to where up until now in the last week it was way below average, although they're still 18 games back. I understand that, but at least they're winning several series here in the last week and a half or so. But Philadelphia, of course, staying on the top. They're 8 games over Atlanta. One thing, Cardinal fans, is basically what you've got to root for, I think, is the wild card.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. And Atlanta's rolling right now.
Yeah, they're 74-52. And last week, Jake, you were pretty optimistic that the Cardinals had a shot at that wild card.
I did.
What about this week?
This week is much the opposite.
Opposite, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm week to week, maybe even day to day right now.
A fan or
just in life. You're on the Tony La Russa roller coaster, so we'll see how this year finishes out. Man, what a failure, though, our starting pitching has been. Yeah. And our base running, just absolutely brutal. So,
well, I thought your main concern would be, and had been even in the start of the season when you were doing well, was the bullpen.
Yeah.
And it seems like they've kind of been okay.
Yeah, no, they've been,
in the last
to be
couple
honest, they've been
weeks.
fine as long as we don't go into extra innings.
Right, which you
we're
did last
fine,
night.
Which we did last night.
Right, and the Cubs won.
And the Cubs won.
Yeah.
Dang it.
But it's now it's your starting pitching where you thought maybe as a Cardinal fan that was going to be one of your stronger –
Boy,
if you did.
Even without Wainwright
Right.
at the beginning of the season, I thought the starting staff was going to be stronger than what it is. Then they pick up Edwin Jackson, make that trade with Rasmus, shipping him out of town, and I was thinking, we even look stronger.
Right.
And just Edwin Jackson's pitched fine, but the rest of the team, they'll pitch 4 or 5 solid, and then number 5 or 6, they give up 4 or 5 runs, it seems like, here lately. So
Philadelphia is winning the East by 8 games over Atlanta. Philly's 80-42. The Brewers are 73-52, 7 games up on Jake's beloved Cardinals. My Cubs are way back, but we did beat the Cardinals last night. Arizona.
At least you're hanging your hat on something.
Thanks, Jake. Arizona 2.5 up in the West over San Fran. So that's how the standings are playing out. We got guys honking. Everybody's honking going by here. So out at Jake's Furnishings right now.
Monsoon. We're sitting in the monsoon.
It's
right
done
now.
already. The Yankees are up in the American League in the East by half a game over Boston. That's basically a 2-team race in the East. Detroit still playing good baseball, 66-58. They're 2.5 up over Cleveland, and Texas 6.5 up over the Angels of Anaheim. So it looks like Texas is well on their way to winning that. Detroit's still a little closer. New York and Boston are going to be down to the wire. Wild card standings, it looks like Atlanta's still up in the wild card. Let's see. Yeah, wild card up. Jake, you're still, back 7.5 back to the wild card?
I was going to say, I think 7 or 7.5, yeah.
7.5 back, and then San Fran's right there at 7 for the National League. So going to be a tight race, especially for that wild card coming to an end. Well, You've got preseason football has started, and quite a few games on tap last night, it looks to me, and I haven't seen a whole bunch of it, Jake, and maybe you have seen a little more than I have, but the Patriots look awfully tough.
Well, like we said, it is preseason,
right.
So you don't really know what you have as a team. But the Patriots, perennial. You hear the rumor of them possibly cutting ties very quickly with Hainsworth and Ochocinco.
Well, I didn't hear Ochocinco. I can imagine Hainsworth. He hasn't been the utmost model citizen nor athlete, I guess.
Yeah,
if
you would think, though, under Bill Belichick,
would get him
going.
But man, if he can't do it, I don't know if anybody can. And I would think Ochocinco will turn it around. I think he caught a touchdown the other night. And if you want to, I don't know if you want to say revive your career, you can't be better than having a guy, Tom Brady throwing to you.
Man, that you would think that'd be the ideal situation. But
Washington Redskins 16, Indianapolis Colts 3, and they gave out some stat from the Colts, and they're just awful in preseason. I mean, it was just like 4-30 in the last several years.
One of those 4 were a win against the Bears, too.
Right. Miami 20, Carolina 10, Detroit 30, Cleveland 28. A lot of people were saying Detroit's going to be right up there in that division along with the Bears and the Packers. Speaking of the Packers, I've got a Packer trivia question coming up for all you Packer fans, and what you can win is a free night stay at the Hampton Inn, 1 king or a double room. So stay tuned before we give out that trivia question. It's got to do with the Green Bay Packers. So I don't know if you'll get it, Jake. I know you're a fan of the
Bears.
So maybe Jake wouldn't get it, but I know this is Packer Ram Bear territory. So I figured I'd throw something out for the defending champs. Baltimore 31, Kansas City 13, Green Bay 28. Arizona 20. Well, Green Bay starting off the season scoring points like they left the season last year, and I don't know if the Bears, if anybody can stop the Packers. And they just sounds like they got a draft pick in Cobb, another wide receiver that they love. This guy's got tons of weapons, and Rodgers might have the best arm in the NFL. Jacksonville, go ahead.
I do like the Lions though this year. This is something new. We'll see how this year goes, but an awkward situation where you're looking at a team and you see how much talent they have, And with their quarterback being healthy and everything, you think they might actually be able to stand a chance in the division. You figure home games are going to be really tough this year for anybody in NFC North.
I think so, too. Jacksonville 15, Atlanta 13. So I think it'll be a good division with the Bears. And, of course, we get all those games, Bears, a lot of Packer games, a lot of Ram games. I think that division with the Packers, Detroit, and Bears will be will definitely be fun to watch all year long. You have your couple bad teams there, but those three teams will be tough. A tough league.
I think so too. Like you said, the defense with Detroit has just a tough defense and a really good offensive line.
Yeah.
So and with Stafford there tossing the pill around, they should be doing pretty well.
Hey, we're going to take a quick commercial break here. We're going to come back, talk some Jim Hendry firing, some Cubs win last night. What was that, Jake? What was the score of that game? 5-4. 5-4 in 10 innings. Cubs win. And also I have from MSN.com the 10 worst franchises. And yes, my beloved Cubs are in there. So we're going to talk. We're going to run through those 10 and see if Jake thinks somebody else should be in there or maybe the order should be reversed. We're in the cheap seats. We're out here at Jake's Furnishings, 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. We are back out here at Jake's Furnishings, located at 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln, open 7 days a week. Phone Jake at 735-1212 or go online to jakesfurnishings.com.
We are in the midst of a giant downpour.
You think so? He thinks it's coming. The weatherman, Jake, not only furniture but weather. Also, hey, we also want to thank Jim Grimaldi, attorney at law. Call 217-651-8089. And speaking of Jim Grimaldi,
Jim.
Yeah, we're going to be out next week. We're going to be on the square in front of the Corey Leonard Shelter Insurance in downtown Lincoln. Next week, brought to you by criminal defense attorney at law, Jim Grimaldi. So
Corey Leonard, good guy.
Yeah. So join us out there. Of course, the Art Balloon Festival will be going on all weekend. So that's where we'll be. Taste testing and doing all that kind of stuff. So we'll be at Corey Leonard Shelter Insurance in downtown Lincoln next week, brought to you by Jim Grimaldi. We also want to thank the Christian Village, the area's leader for senior living and healthcare services. Phone 732-2189 for a tour. The new Lincoln Speedway, located at Logan County Fairgrounds. Phone 217-735-1833. Stacy's Family Pharmacy, Lincoln's only independently owned and operated pharmacy. Phone 732-1972. St. Clair's Manor, their team's dedication is what makes them special. Phone 735-1507. Goodwill of Lincoln. Find everything for everyone at the Lincoln Goodwill store next to Kroger, accepting donations and open 7 days a week. I talked about that Green Bay Packer trivia question. Well, here it is, and if you are the correct answer, you get a free night stay at the luxurious Hampton Inn here in Lincoln. So, you need a night away from the house.
And who doesn't?
Yeah, I mean somebody, or you can order pizza out there or whatever, and or you're going to a wedding. Somebody coming in from out of town, or you got family coming in over Christmas. It's good through then. So, if you have the answer, you're staying at the Hampton. Donald Driver is 41 yards shy of who has to set the all-time franchise record at 9,656 career yards receiving. I need to know the guy that he is going to pass after probably, I'm saying, the first game of the season, as long as he doesn't get hurt. He needs 41 yards to pass who to become the all-time franchise record, 9,656 career yards receiving. Give us a call, 737-3791. You got the correct answer. You're staying at the Hampton Inn. You already knew it?
I believe I do.
You did? Mm-hmm. Before you looked at the answer?
I haven't seen. I'm trying to scan for the answer. I haven't found it yet.
Okay. Well, don't give it out yet because you're not winning.
I am right. All right.
He is right. Hey, yesterday, Jake, the
Doesn't
Cubs.
happen often.
No, it doesn't. The Cubs made a step forward, and what I'm saying, and what my grandfather would also tell you, is a step in the right direction. He's been begging for it probably for 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. Jim Henry.
Well, okay, hold on now.
Yeah. I'm not saying five. Let's say 3.
Let's say 2003 he hired Dusty Baker.
After Bartman caught that ball.
That was Baker's first year.
It's gone downhill.
Yes. Well, he didn't catch the ball.
Well, I'm still mad at him.
And there was another guy right there with him, also leaning over the rail for the ball.
Yeah, well.
Trying to fight him for the ball, actually.
Yeah, well, he should have been Moises Alou catching it. Anyway.
What about your Gold Glove shortstop that should have been that year?
It wouldn't have mattered. If we would have caught that ball. If we should have caught that ball, it wouldn't have mattered. So
yeah, I don't know.
Don't blame the shortstop.
I'm blaming the shortstop.
The GM of the Chicago Cubs was fired yesterday. Jim Henry, 56-year-old, was named GM in July of 2002 and has spent 17 seasons in the organization. While GM for the Cubs, they went 749 and 748. That's pretty close.
About 500. I mean, what more do you want as a Cub fan? I mean, come on.
Although he has spent a lot of money and got very little for it, I would say for one positive for the owners or for the franchise that he did pack that place. And that's just Cubs, I think, fans in general.
I would disagree that he packed it.
Really?
Yes.
You don't think?
I don't think he had anything to do with it.
You just think they came for the old style?
I believe that's a big part of why they come to Wrigley Field. I believe. Right. It's the reason I go. I'm a Cardinal fan, but the reason I go there is, right. It's old-style beer. What other stadium are you going to get it in?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, here, give you a couple quick things that he actually did accomplish in his few years.
Okay.
He did get the hiring of Dusty Baker, which he was, to be honest, he was the guy everybody wanted in 2003. Right. He just came off the World Series with the Giants. Mm-hmm. He lured him over. Lou Piniella in 2006, which, he got you a couple postseason appearances there.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
padded his retirement.
And then, of course, padded his retirement. And players-wise, had that shrewd deal for Ramos Ramirez.
That was a good – I will say –
to be honest, in my opinion –
that's the best.
Well, that whole deal, because he actually got about 6 people in 2003 that got you guys into the playoffs and gave you a good, strong push for nothing. Mm-hmm. I mean, you did not give up a top prospect at all for that deal.
Sure.
Let's see. Kerry Woods, been around for a while. It kept him coming back. Ted Lilly was a nice signing for him. Marlon Byrd was a nice signing. And then you got some that are kind of the iffy ones.
Questionable.
Soriano, at the time of the signing, was the best baseball player in the game.
Pretty good.
Could do everything. About 2 months into him signing, tore his hamstring and could no longer play anything.
Couldn't run. He was a 30.
That's what killed him.
He was a 30-30 guy every year. I mean, 30 stolen bases,
and
30 home runs.
They say it still affects him.
Right.
They say he still can't turn on the inside pitch like he used to, which means he's falling out for the outside pitch. Kosuke Fukudome, another iffy.
Not good.
But the one that was probably his downfall that killed the Cubs organization, in my opinion, was Milton Bradley. Not
good. Yes.
Bad.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I've already heard talks, and I just talked this over with you during a commercial break. Ryan Sandberg's already been talked about.
Yeah,
I think he's coming back.
As a Cardinal fan, I would love that. I would absolutely love it. Because let's face it, he knows nothing about being a GM or an executive.
Right.
He is a baseball guy.
Right.
He's not the kind of guy the Cubs want in their GM position.
Mm-hmm. That's probably a fan or somebody throwing that out there. I'm
sure, that would have to be a fan like you throwing it out there. I believe it's you that has started this rumor.
No, it wasn't. I did hear it. I wouldn't start that. I haven't been following. Like I said, I didn't even know the Cubs and Cardinals were playing until I opened the paper this morning.
Plus, I mean, with Ryan Sandberg, he is in the Phillies organization where he originated his career at. It sounds like he is the heir apparent out there. So in the next 2 years, probably, there's a good chance he may be taking the reins there in Philadelphia.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't leave Philadelphia at the rate that they're going, because right now they're building a
dynasty
powerhouse.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they were getting a little older in the field, but I mean, it's pretty easy to swap out field players when you have a dominant pitching staff like they have.
Right. Oh, we're moving on, and I searching around the internet last night a little bit and saw MSN.com had the 10 worst franchises, and I wanted to go over that with you just a little bit to see your point of view, and maybe anybody else's point of view that's listening out there. Call us 737-3791. I don't agree with number one, and we'll get to that. But I want to hear your thoughts, but I also want to hear somebody win the trivia for a free night stay at the Hampton Inn. Donald Driver is 41 yards shy of what longtime Packer receiver? Once he gets 42 yards, he will be 9,600 and 56 career yards receiving. He needs to pass that mark to get this. But who does he need to pass to get there? And that's the answer I need from you. 737-3791 for a stay at the Hampton. All right, 10 worst franchises. We'll do 5, take a commercial break, and come back with the maybe the top 5 that you don't want to be, definitely want to be a part of. Cincinnati Bengals, number 10, 43 years in existence, 12 winning seasons.
Okay.
Not good. Phoenix Coyotes, no idea. I don't follow hockey too closely, but those of you that do, the Phoenix Coyotes, never been out of the first round of the playoffs. The Oakland Raiders, good in the early years, but in the last 8 years, 37-91.
And probably 14 head coaches.
Yeah, and one owner.
37-91.
That's boy, how do you get fans to come? Pittsburgh Pirates, same thing. Could be on their way to their 19th consecutive losing season.
Yeah, I think they're actually starting to go in the right direction, though, with their talent assessments and actually getting people moved into the right positions.
Yeah, but they're not playing good
They're
baseball.
not there yet.
Right.
No. What's their standing right now?
Well, right now Pittsburgh's 58-60. They're already 5 games under 500. So they might be, like this says, on their way to their 19th.
Well, if they play the Cardinals anymore series this year, they'll make that up quick.
Yeah, anybody playing the Cardinals is just bumping their schedule.
God. It's like, let's put in a W here.
Arizona Cardinals, and this is the one I have a little bit of a problem with. The Arizona Cardinals comes in at number 6. They were just, and Kurt Warner, took them to a couple of playoffs before the Super Bowl. So I have a problem with the Arizona Cardinals, and I don't have anything written after them because I don't think they should be here. I don't know who replaces them, but I don't think that the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals.
And so far on this list, I'll be honest, I have a little bit of an argument with them because as a franchise, if you're an NFL franchise, whoever the owner is a billionaire. Mm-hmm. Every single team.
Right.
So obviously, if it's worst teams making money, or what is it, worst teams for the fans? Because the owners are banking.
I think it's just not winning.
Okay.
Just poor performance.
Well, Cincinnati's had, I wouldn't say good teams lately, but, right there at the verge of making the playoffs with Carson Palmer out there.
Well,
Ocho Cinco.
12 winning seasons, 43 years. That's not they're going to be a little under 500, I would think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Comes in at number 5, the Florida Panthers. Another hockey. In the last decade, they have not finished higher than 3rd in the division and have not made the postseason. So for them, too, just not a lot of winning.
No, not a lot of winning. So,
and I don't know enough about them to argue them.
What do we got? We've got mainly hockey and
– we got 2 hockey, 2 NFL. 3 NFL and 1 baseball so far, and that's 5 through 10. 5 with the Florida Panthers, 6 the Arizona Cardinals, 7 the Pittsburgh Pirates, 8 the Oakland Raiders. Phoenix Coyotes were number 9, and the Cincinnati Bengals were number 10. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will bring you 1 through 5, and I've got a problem with a couple of them. So we'll be back here. Jake's Furnishings, 96.3 FM. WLCNonline.com.